Hello everyone, I'm Kieran.
And I'm the guy who actually does stuff.
So as we play games such as the original Stars Battlefront 2, Empire at War, Solaris, Civilization 5, Mountain Blade, and a lot of other games over the years, we've always wanted to sort of, make a game to combine the grand strategy and action elements of the games in order to create like a massive game where you could basically just do whatever you want, and I think Colin's falling asleep here.
First of all, we have a beautiful main menu where you can adjust the audio and video settings as you would expect. And then we have a new game menu where you can basically customize not only the galaxy but also your empire as well. So you can customize your empire name, your empire culture, and your empire flag. And then for galaxy wise, you can customize number of planets and number of empires. And then whenever you hit play and go to the galaxy scene, you will then see that your changes have been made in the galaxy view with hyperspace lanes connecting each planet and a resource bar at the top that displays your empire flag. If you hover over that, your empire name, and then your empire's credits and your credits per turn, and your empire's prescriptions and prescriptions per turn, which is like manpower essentially, since every soldier in the game is a pill, so that's why they're called prescriptions. And then if you click on a planet that your empire controls, it opens up a planet management menu where there's a buildings tab, a garrison tab, and an info tab. And at this point, we've got stuff working on the info tab, which tells you, like your number of cities, if it's the capital, and prescriptions per turn on the planet, and the credits per turn on the planet, just stuff like that. And then on the buildings tab, there's cities implemented there where you can have a max of 6 cities per planet, and whenever you click on a city, you can build a certain number of buildings. It gives you a buildings limit, and each building has its own unique abilities to it, like a research facility increases science output, which you have to implement yet, and then a depot, make it to where it's faster to build other buildings, but it will also add vehicles on the planet view. And then there's a prescriptor, which basically gives you more prescriptions per turn or manpower. And there's a trade post, which essentially gives you more credits per turn. And we've yet to implement any garrison features yet, but we're also getting to that very soon. And then also on the galaxy view, there is a cheat console, which you can open up by pressing tilde. And in the cheat console, there's currently a few commands that work at the moment, and we'll display those on the screen. And now let's talk about the planet view, which you're supposed to be able to transition to from the galaxy view by starting a battle.
So one of the more important core features of the planet view is this thing called a useless machine. So what you can do is so the planet view is supposed to be like a first-person shooter experience where you can play out the battles that you encounter. We were thinking about just having it to where you could explore the planets even when there's not a battle, but that would require more work, which means it probably will not happen. But one of the main goals we had for it was that it was all basically randomly generated. So this goes down to the biome, the terrain, the cities are all randomly generated. And I was planning on eventually making it to where even the buildings were randomly generated, but right now they're just preset buildings that are placed randomly and skinned randomly. So it's basically just a randomized first-person shooter experience. But I should also mention that when you leave a planet and you go back into it, it's supposed to be the exact same planet, and from what I can tell it is. So there's a saving feature. It doesn't actually save all the data at the planet, it just saves enough to regenerate it. What that means is that it's a massive pain in the ass to develop, but guess what? It's already done. Another core feature of the planet view is the large amount of bugs and glitches within it. There is no shortage of opportunities to run through walls, or another major bug is that when you order the AI to go to a position, they will go to it, and then they will glitch to the ground immediately upon entering that position. So yeah, another feature of the planet view is vehicles. So I've designed it to where we can have different types of vehicles, but at the moment I've blown my entire budget on hovercrafts, which are by no means a core gameplay feature. In fact, the AI do not know how to use them whatsoever at this point, but they look very cool, and that is something I feel like is very important to mention. Also, there are a lot of sexy lens flares and skyboxes, and I actually used assets outside of bare bones cubes and spheres for this project, which is pretty much revolutionary for my efforts. I could bore you with all the various details and features of the Planet View, which are all very much worth your time, but I shall spare you. But know that ladders are also very cool in the game. Okay, so before I go, one final thing I should mention for the Planet View is that the end goal for the Planet View, as much as my brain can comprehend, this will probably be years down the road, but basically I want it to where everyone's flying in Star Wars style rip-off gunships, and everything's guns blazing, everyone's screaming up the top of their lungs like Coltrane, like over the radio comms, and you're like flying in, like shooting the crap out of this planet. And there's like epic, like heavy cinematic orchestra music, like it's the end of the world, and you just like basically have like a full nut invasion of like this planet, and you can do that just like over and over again, you know, just like have the same like freaking glory day like over and over, and just I'm sure it'll never get old. But that's the plan anyways. Now I don't know what would actually happen when you land. I mean, I don't know how to keep that kind of momentum going, you know, with that sort of drama, but well, we'll cross that mark when we get there. One of the core features for the game is the vehicle system, which I spent way too much time on. The first part of the vehicle system I would like to mention is that the damage on the vehicles is part specific. So there are different vehicle parts, and each part can be damaged and repaired separately. Also, the vehicles have different gears that you can change to manage different speeds that you have automatically. So you start in park, which means that you can't move anywhere except if you want to move at 1 mile per hour, which could work, but perhaps a bit tedious. That's good for when you don't want to move somewhere and you just want to idle. Then you can move it up a gear for moving around the city, and you can move it up to progressively higher gears when you're just trying to cover large amounts of ground in short amounts of time.